Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. मेरे channel को आपका स्वागत है. So this is going to be a little bit of a different video. It's going to be a video on how and why I learned Hindi. Because I thought, why not make it? It's a fun topic and something that I've been passionate about for a long time. So yeah, here we go. So I learned Hindi because I loved India and there was just something so beautiful about it, and I just thought it was such a beautiful language. And so I started learning Hindi at the age of 14, and I already knew a little bit of Nepali language, and quite a few of the words in Hindi and Nepali are similar. So I kind of had a head start with that. So let me tell you, I listened to a song, Ikajnabi Hasina Se. It's kind of like, Ikajnabi Hasina Se, Yum Lakha Ho Gayi, Fir Kya Hua, ये ना पूछो कुछ ऐसी बात हो गई. Yeah, kind of like that. And obviously it was a Hindi song, and it was one of the most beautiful songs I had ever even heard in my entire life. And this was right before I started learning Hindi, and I knew there would be a day when I did know Hindi. So I started off learning Hindi. One of the first things I used was this app called Nemo, and basically it would start like teaching you Hindi words and phrases, and by reading them over and over again, like you could listen to them, and it would slowly add more and more, and you could listen to it while you were doing other things. Like you wouldn't have to sit there and focus because it would read it to you on its own. It was kind of like an audio type app, and I would listen to this app when I was going hiking in the woods and the prairies, because I love nature. And at the age of 14, let me tell you, I did a lot of hiking. So that was one of the first apps I used. I also would watch Anil Mahato's YouTube videos, and he's one of the best Hindi teachers on YouTube, and if you want to learn Hindi, I recommend checking him out because he's really good. So shout out to you, Anil Mahato. And I was listening to Hindi songs. I've already mentioned Ikajnabi Hasina Se, but there were others like Itani Si Baat Hai, Kisi Se Pyar Ho Jaye, and O Jania. There was a lot, but I really liked Hindi songs, and I would listen to them and they would make me feel alive. So another app that I started using shortly after I used Nemo was, it was called Learn Hindi Quickly, and it was actually one of my favorite apps, and I've since gone on to use it to learn a bit of Kannada and a little bit of Bengali. So yeah, I definitely recommend that if you want to learn Hindi or any Indian language. It's a very good app for Indian languages. And there were some others, like there was this 6,000 words Learn Hindi app that I used. I mean, it helped me learn some more, and another big part was learning from Indian friends, like online. Sometimes I would have conversations in Hindi, like texting and sometimes calling, but that was always a little bit more difficult for me. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and it was really fun to me, and I really loved speaking in Hindi. And like, let me tell you, I was obsessed, especially at 14. Now I kind of, you know, I learn more on and off, but I'm not too obsessed anymore. But yeah, and I also want to add that I would make like flashcards to help me learn, and I think that's a really good thing if you're learning languages. Making flashcards is actually really good and really helpful, at least in my opinion, and I definitely recommend it. When I got more advanced with Hindi, I would watch like cooking videos in Hindi because, guys, let me tell you, I love Indian food. Like, love Indian food. Like, if I had to eat one type of food for the rest of my life, it would be Indian food. No doubt. Okay. Yeah, there's other countries that have a lot of good foods, but nothing will ever top Indian food, at least in my opinion. I do have a pretty strong opinion on this, and Indian food is the best food ever. I know my dad would disagree, my family would disagree, but they're missing out because honestly, oh my gosh. So yeah, I've made so many different Indian foods, and you know, back when I was 14, you know, I started getting passionate about Indian food and Hindi and everything like that, but I didn't have all my Indian spices, but I bought them. Like, I bought turmeric powder, also known as haldi powder. I bought garam masala powder, cumin powder, also known as jeera, what else is there? Oh, coriander, also known as dhania powder, pav bhaji masala powder, biryani masala. I mean, you know, whatever, you know, because I gotta have those, you know. I can't live without Indian food. You know, I eat Indian food a lot, probably more than American food, because I'm not a fan of American food most of the time, but Indian food, nothing will ever beat it. Like, मुझे Indian खाना बहुत पसंद है. Also known as, I really like Indian food. Okay, I gotta stop ranting. But yeah, I think you guys get the point. So what else did I do to learn Hindi? Well, I would, back in 2020, there were several times when I would call Simon Knowles. I always want to call him Simon No Less. It's an old joke, don't ask. But yeah, and I would help him improve his English, and he would help me improve my Hindi. And yeah, I really hope that me and him can call again sometime, because I actually miss our phone calls. Those were really helpful and really good. And yeah, so Simon, if you're watching this video, let's call again sometime and practice Hindi. So yeah, this is basically my video of why and how I learned Hindi. I mean, there was a lot of different methods I used for learning it, but the reason, you know, I love India and I love Indian languages, and I'm actually studying Bengali right now. I don't know that I'll learn all of it, but it's a pretty good language as well. I mean, so yeah, and shout out to Snigdha, because she's my, like, Bengali speaking friend. And I've actually also learned a little bit of Kannada language. So yeah, I mean, Indian languages are awesome. I can't deny it, and I really do love learning languages. So yeah, so basically, yeah, this video on why and how I learned Hindi. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye!